Hello Space Cadets, it's your pal Vector Spaceman once again coming to you live from Harbor Station, broadcasting on all frequencies to our beautiful planet Earth. Now whether you're watching us live tonight or after the show, don't you know we're glad to have you on board? Thanks for helping us make outer space the place to be, as we get set to rocket into another session of all the things we like to love and love to share. Today's Wednesday, January 5th, 2022. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Welcome back to the show, getting started a few minutes late due to some technical issues tonight. Those space internet connections on the fritz again, you know how it is. We're midweek and boy is it feeling like a long week. I don't know if it's just me, but I'm dog tired and I think a big part of that stems from our stellar stream that we had here last night. If you missed the last show, we held our very first karaoke stream here on the channel. We took non-stop requests for over 4 hours, belted out mad hits, and pushed my voice to the limit. You can definitely hear it strained a little bit now. The video from last night's stream has been successfully saved, so I'm thinking I'll try to chop it up and release some of our finer moments in the near future. What a fun time we had, though. Of course, if you want to stay up to date with all of our broadcasts, then be sure to follow Vector Spaceman on Twitter, YouTube, and right here on Twitch. Well, my voice wasn't as hoarse today as I thought it might have been, all things considered, but I'm definitely feeling a bit worn down after streaming into the AM. We'll probably keep it a little shorter tonight just to compensate. I do want to thank everybody who tuned in last night, though. We had some real action in the chat, hardly a dull moment, as we gave our best Spaceman rendition of everybody's favorite songs. Definitely something I'm looking forward to doing again in the future. As you know, I was just pleasantly surprised, looking back on the recording. I'd been watching it after the fact, how synced up the backing tracks were with the vocals. That was my number one concern. Having never done a long-form stream with any musical accompaniment, we were actually right on time. Everything turned out way better than I could have hoped for. Just an altogether great stream. I'm glad everybody had fun. But the night certainly did wipe us, which is why tonight we're taking it easy, spending a little more time on a game that I've been hooked on recently, that we can play idly for a little while as I try to learn a little more about it. That game being Oxygen Not Included. Now, we got started with this game last week on the show, struggling our way through figuring out things as simple as how to empty bottles or pick stuff up. I've gotten a few pointers since then, been playing a little off-stream. It's definitely a game with a high degree of system mastery. We'll see what we can get done tonight as we start a new save with our intrepid crew of Space Cadets. So let's get started with today's show then, shall we? We return now to distant stars and ruined planets, as we try to lead our crew to survival in the very charming and very technical Oxygen Not Included. Let's head on over to the big screen, shall we? Here we go. So as I said, we're going to start a brand new game. Try to leverage some of the things I've been learning off stream. We're still going to be playing it on the easier mode, though, just until we get the hang of things. And as I said, we'll probably have a bit of a shorter broadcast tonight. I am just feeling wiped after yesterday. Here we go. Now, last time we were playing, I was trying to prioritize real stellar single stats. But I guess the thing to do is try to diversify a little bit. That's not bad. +1 to a few things. Hey, Ellie, we got some action in the chat here. Ellie of Nova Swarm. Hi, Spaceman. Hi, Ellie. Hope you're doing well tonight. Thanks for tuning in. Playing a little more Oxygen Not Included. I keep wanting to say Oxygen Not Required. I keep tripping that up in my brain. But as we know, oxygen is definitely required for survival in this very charming, very technical game. Hope you're doing well too. How's the voice? Not as bad as I thought it might have been. I think you can definitely hear it. Strained a little bit, but all things considered, for as much of a workout that we gave it last night, doing okay. And as I said at the top of the show, we're gonna try to put out some of those clips from last night's stream over the next little while. Let everybody see what we got up to. We had a great time though, didn't we? Definitely looking forward to doing more streams like that in the future. I don't want to spend too much time deciding on our stats here. We just want somebody with a pretty good spread. It was very fun to watch. Well, I'm glad you had a good time, Ellie. You and Regal both tuning in, and I mean, we had a real busy chat, didn't we? Compared to what numbers we usually pull in. Oh, it was a busy group of folks. Everybody having a good time, making their requests, and doing our best to fulfill. That's not bad. Lyra was also watching and singing along, but didn't type. Oh, is that right? Wow, we had the whole team in there then. Wow.
Wow.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself. Alright, that seems like a good enough start. Let's see how we can do here. And we'll name our little colony Space Cadets 2, the sequel. Now that we've figured out a few things. We'll see if we can't be a little more efficient this time. Let's embark. There we go. Alright, quick pause, take a look around. Alright, nice water supply. Nice oxygen supply. Good start, good start. Alright, let's get everybody digging here. Try to prioritize a few buildings in the first few cycles here. I've been having a lot of fun with this game off stream over the past couple of days. And watching a few videos on the subject. Getting much more comfortable with the early game, at least. Haven't gotten very far with it. What we want to do first is start building out additional floors for our little duplicates to live and work on. We know all the hotkeys now, that helps. There we go. How are you doing today, Ellie? Oh, you got it easy being working on a different time zone. Because I think we ended the stream last night, what, around just after midnight or so? Slept in a little bit this morning, but was still pretty much wiped for the whole day. Alright, we're about halfway through the cycle here. We gotta put down some sleeping arrangements. Tired today, had an early mission and like 2 work meetings. So it's not just us. Feels like a long week already. We're only slightly though part of the way through. At least I'm not the one screaming today. Yeah, suppose so. Hey, look at this. Stevie257, hey, thanks for tuning in. Playing a little, Oxygen Not Included tonight. Thanks for trying out all the channel, interaction stuff there. Not what you were expecting? Wish I had seen the air horn sooner. That's always a fan favorite, isn't it? Hey, there we go. Thanks, Ellie. I never did adjust the price, the costs on those. We've still got it all at all the super cheap settings from the launch stream. That's fine, I think, though. Let people use the stuff they like. All right, now we gotta get.
Brother, this guy stinks.
Well, why don't we just call it there then? I guess. I have like 3.6 thousand points. You should make them more expensive. Oh, geez. Yeah, I wasn't sure how quickly those would rack up. I don't know if we'll just adjust the cost to some of the ones that we got, or I would like to make new ones as well. Keep adding on to the experience, you know? Fresh new stuff. Alright, what do we need here? We need plumbing. We need an outhouse. Or 2. Adding things are fun. That's why I like doing most of the channel content stuff, like model assets and stuff like that. I like to do that on stream, in like art streams and things like that. Not only because it's just fun to do and people enjoy seeing the sort of behind the scenes process of it, but it's sort of 2 birds, 1 stone. Get to make an enjoyable stream out of it at the same time. What's not to love? Alright, we've got just about everything we need to make it through the first night. So next we're going to prioritize getting down to that water source. Let's take a look at our oxygen levels. Still holding steady with that natural oxygen producing oxalite, as well as just the starting amount that we were given. But sooner or later we're going to have to start producing our own. Unless we want to suffocate and die. That's always an option. be done and ready for the morning. And we'll have to build a platform down there at the same time. Just so we can put our little water pump into it. How much space does that take up? Right there, so something like that. So we'll have to clear out these spaces. Everybody's taking their union-ordered break. Oh, Abrod rating with the party of 3. Hello, Space Cadets. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We're playing the very on-brand Oxygen Not Included. Trying to manage the lives of some virtual spacemen, as it were. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hope you're having a great evening. How are we doing? We're doing okay. Especially after last night. We're feeling a lot better than I thought we would. That's for sure. The voice isn't quite so hoarse as we thought it might be, and all things considered, we're doing quite well, quite well. How about you? How's everybody doing tonight? You know, I was just talking to Ellie. We were both feeling this week, for whatever reason, it's just feeling like a rough one. Feeling long, feeling tired. I don't know if it's just us. But something's got me wiped. And I'm sure last night's stream had a little bit to do with it. Yeah, me too, me too. I don't know what it is. Thanks for tuning in, Dragon. Good to see ya. Vibing with Stardew Valley for the first time. It does feel like a rough week indeed. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. While my Space Cadets here are sleeping, I've never really paid a whole lot of attention yet to the farming aspect of this game. I'm just still getting the hang of basic stuff like digging out areas and building buildings that we need. Alright, back to your jobs, everybody. We need a water source. So we're digging a well. Okay, as soon as that breaks. Very good, let's pop that down. Give ourselves a little pump. Hey, where are you guys going? Get back down there. There we go, and once we have that, we can build ourselves a wash basin, keep ourselves nice and clean and sterile. Now I should like to bridge these two water sources. We'll work on that as we continue to dig deeper. Okay. Build out to about there. And this is a weird mechanic, but you can set which way, when your little spacemen are traveling in a direction, which way to prioritize them to actually use these buildings. So we'll set it when they're exiting the washroom type area. The game does have a very charming art style, but sometimes it seems a little convoluted. But I'm willing to let it slide. It's just so good looking. Alright, now let's get started on the power supply that we need for our little base here. And for that we're going to need This here. Metal ores. We're gonna have to dig these out. We got another few open deposits here. We'll pick those up. Anything shiny. We need to build some circuitry here. Let's speed up the process a little bit. There we go. About halfway through the second day here. We want to get power up and running so that we can start producing our own oxygen once all this natural oxalite runs out. Very good, very good. Okay. We need a generator, which we will attach to a battery, which we will attach to a research station. And that'll be a good start. Unlock some new tools for us. This game makes me think of RimWorld meets Fallout Shelter. Fallout Shelter is exactly the one that I think of when I'm looking at this. Although it's a lot more demanding. Like, some of the overlays and stuff for this game, like we have to manage oxygen pressure versus carbon dioxide versus other gases that we'll find throughout the game. We have to manage power and temperature and materials, germs. Like you can see them clinging onto some of our washroom buildings right there. Like it's really in-depth. I'm a big fan of it. Even though it's still a lot. Still a lot for me at this point. Alright, gotta wire all these up. Take care of that for me. Alright, get on that hamster wheel. And let's give ourselves some research. What do we want to do? I think we want to build... Yeah, we want to get to where the mess table and the grill and the farm tiles. So let's start there. Sounds like a 4X strategy game, just doesn't look like one. Kind of, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's even got research and skill trees and everything like that. So, it is a lot like that now that I think about it. I'm a big fan of 4X games. Like, I played a lot of Civilization back in the day. And games like Stellaris, stuff like that. Good times, good times. Alright, Space Cadets, what do we want you to do? We want you to... First of all, can you reach this? If you can, dig that out for me. Next... We're gonna want to get to work bridging these water sources. But we may as well dig out this area as well. Now by day 3 we should get a new colony member through our little portal here. Okay, that's good. But we're near the end of the day again, so they're gonna stop and eat some food, and they're gonna go to bed. See, this is another cool thing. I haven't messed much with this before, but you can set their schedule, what they're doing throughout the day, how many hours of sleep they get, how much downtime, how much work time. You can change that per person. So eventually, once you get enough crew members here, you might start working them in shifts so that somebody's always working on stuff. It's a really cool game. I was lucky that I was able to pick it up. It was on sale during the winter holiday Steam sale. What an excellent find indeed. Now these floating things, I found out when I was playing off stream, they'll actually wake up your crew members if they are hovering over them while they're asleep, since they give off light. So I might have to find a way to manage these guys, or else just attack them. Solve the problem that way, with a little violence. Space violence. Alright, our research is almost done here. Okay, research complete. We can make compost. We can make ration boxes. We can make algae terrariums. Swell. Okay, but first, what we want to do is... suppose we should have at least one oxygen diffuser running. Let's go ahead and wire that up. Oh, and we gotta set our next research target, which I want to be the meal prep station. The sleep cycle reminds me of another management sim I played called Frostpunk. I've wanted to play Frostpunk for the longest time. I keep seeing that one, but I never get around to actually playing it. That looks like a game that'd be right up my alley. Now this is also interesting. So since we have the building pieces that we need here, we can actually do this. Once we seal off an area, as long as it's got the required building parts within it, you'll see here, once they build this door for me, our colony actually gets little bonuses. You can see this is now considered a latrine, so we get morale boosts. So if we start closing off different areas of the base that have different items within it, we can start getting bonuses. Bonuses, bonuses. Right up your alley, sure, but it'll give you the cold shoulder and leave you out in the snow. Excellent wordsmithing right there. Alright, so we can build ration boxes, which is good, because I would like to designate a different area for foodstuffs. So let's see what we can do here. You know what? We don't need all this extra space between rooms, do we? We'll just use the ladder as the divider here. Nice thing about this game is it's pretty forgiving. It knows that you're going to be making a lot of changes to your base as it goes along, so you can always deconstruct certain elements and get the full cost of building it exchanged back for you. Okay, more research complete. Now, I think what we want to do, and this is what I learned the first time we played on stream, we want to get ventilation working on so that we can redirect the oxygen we're producing into different parts of the base. Now we'll deconstruct these, since we don't need double doors. Very good. Okay, now we are given the option to bring in a new colonist. But since we're close to the end of the day, I think I'm going to wait until the start of the next cycle in order to bring them on board, just to maximize their productivity. In the meantime, let's get to work on what will become our sort of mess hall kitchen area. Foodstuffs, let's see. Electric grill. I found out this actually requires a special skill to use. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Instead, we're going to use the microbe musher. We're going to make basically just slop for our colonists to chew on. And we're going to have to wire that up with electronics as well. But we're also going to be able to build mess tables. Oh, but they'll finish that up in the morning, I suppose, because their workday is done. So they have a little bite to eat, use the restroom, wash your hands, of course. And you can see there's another tank filling up here with polluted water. We're going to have to find some place to store that eventually. And off to sleep. More critters roaming around. We gotta get more doors on this base. How's our oxygen? Still holding. Okay, first thing in the morning, let's welcome a new member of our crew, shall we? What's it telling me here? Missing resources. Okay, we need metal ore in order to get this operational. Oh no, that was just a... that was an error message from something else. Okay, we can choose a blueprint. So we could bring on Ellie. Look at that. Ellie, who knows science and creativity and cuisine, is germ resistant, but cannot do attacking errands. Cannot attack things, is a pacifist. Or we could bring on Harold onto the crew. Construction expert. +2 science, +1 cuisine. Almost the same spelling. Yeah, pretty close. Almost the same hairstyle. Here, that's what we'll do. This is why it's such a good game for streaming with viewers. We can always rename the crew members as well. There we go. We'll bring Ellie onto the team. Print. That's a weird thing. The conceit of the game is that it's is that all these colonists are sort of cloned, alternate dimensional peoples. All right, Ellie, welcome to the crew. Get on that hamster wheel. Charge the batteries. Okay, we need to wire that up, but we ain't got no more ores, so we're gonna have to go digging. So let's dig up here, and then dig out here, and here, and here. We don't want that water to flood us out yet, but we'll prioritize this so that we can get to it lickety-split. And while we're at it, we're also going to have to make sure that we have an extra bed for Ellie. And it would probably be good to add on another latrine at the same time. These two going at it. Dig, 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 dig. Okay, that should be enough to get us some wires. Here we go. So we'll hook that up to the battery. We can just snake it underneath through the floor tiles. Once that's done, we'll start a new research project. But of course, now we have access to ventilation equipment, which will help us pass around the oxygen we're producing. And oxygen is made from this algae that we've been picking up. So we may as well go ahead and snake some more of that, since we got a little bit just lying around. So the sand falls down if we're digging under it. You can see how it's getting in the way of us here. So that is going to mess up our latrine area. So we'll just have to go ahead and build some more tiles to cover us up here. We want everything to be nice and structurally sound. Ooh, geez. Getting a pile up here. And because they're not great at pathfinding, we have to tell them to dig that out. There we go. Now, in order to get the rest of this done, we're probably going to have to dig right up over top. And this should be a nice little pocket of oxygen for us. Perfect. Love to see it. Everybody's on the job. Where are you going, Nails? Okay, dropping stuff off. Pick that up while we're at it. That little mess that we had made there. And this was all about installing a new outhouse. So let's plop that down there. Why have we got a little crack here? Some sort of visual glitch. Everybody's tired, but what's the matter? Why can't... Oh no, because that oxalate disappeared. They can't reach the cots anymore, so they're just gonna pass out on the spot. Oh, I wish I had noticed that. That oxalate burns away. It's very useful in the early game, gives you a little bit of free oxygen. But you gotta watch it. If you're building around it, you gotta pay attention to when it disappears on you, when it burns itself out. Alright, so they're not gonna sleep well. There we go. Sore back. Great. What does that give us? Athletics -1 for half a day. Alright. Let's fix that up then. Let's make sure everybody can get to their bed tomorrow night. Now what happens if we build here and then delete it? Will that get rid of that little visual glitch that we had there? Yes, okay. That's better. Little things that get on your nerves. And what do we want here? Whoop. Or you know what, we'll go right to the end with it. I suppose we should do one more, because we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 16... Or maybe one less. Oh, because I was calculating based on having an extra jumping area here. Careful, you could be a dimensional rift. Ooh, that's right. We got our set. Let's make 50 mush bars, or you know what, let's make 20 mush bars just to start. Give us a little bit of supply, some rations to work with. How far out are we here? We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Okay, so if we want 16, we want to extend it by 1, so let's do that. Whoop. There we go. Okay. Nails making that, ooh, that delicious nutrient-rich slime. Look at him go. All right, good job. Now, we need new research here. I think plumbing is going to be an important part of what we do here, because we're going to want things like sinks and proper lavatories. We'll set that. Now, we don't have any... Oh, we do have some skills. Who's got available skill points? Ellie does. Ellie could pick up a skill. All right, what do we want Ellie to learn? Improved construction? What's she good at, first of all? Ellie's pretty good at science, creativity, cuisine. Okay. +2 science, and we can use a supercomputer when we unlock that. Alright, let's give her advanced research. There we go. And we'll give her the advanced research hat. Oh, you know what? No, that looks terrible. Let's not do that. Alright, we got plumbing spooled up. Okay, we're all set. Ellie gets her little bonus. Good job, Ellie. What a space cadet. Now let's keep working on closing off different areas of the base here, because eventually we're going to hit a point where we want to keep different gases from escaping and what have you. You can see that carbon dioxide starting to pool in the lower areas of our base. There is a lot to learn. No doubt, no doubt. And we're probably gonna have to end up digging an area around the base. Just to give us space to build some of these barriers. Because we like to use the actual tiles instead of just bumping right up against the natural elements, because the tiles let us run piping and electrical circuits and other stuff through them. Makes it a lot easier to hook up the things that we need. Quality of life stuff. Alright, where do we want to put... Eventually I'll move the oxygen diffusers out of here, and I'll make a whole room devoted to not just that, but I'll also set up a separate area for power generation as well. Or this might be a good space to turn into a dedicated power station. We're just going to need more batteries and probably maybe another generator, depending on how much power we end up drawing. In the meantime, I would like to close off what will become future useful sections. Let's go ahead and get the sleeping quarters zoned off. Oh, research was done, so that gives us piping. We'll use that to move some of this water around. Oh, that's another thing that I wanted to do, of course. Join these two water sources. the water will actually flow together, which is a neat little feature. So once we get this done, I'll work on that. Keep those batteries charged. Good job. Now, how much power are we actually using right now? Let's take a look at the power overlay. Let's see, we're slowly losing power to the various systems that we have plugged in here. The oxygen diffuser is using up most of it. Hamster wheel for power cracks me up. It's pretty, like, everything's very cartoony, very silly. It's, you know, it's space survival for the child at heart. It's like, it's like if, something like Calvin and Hobbes was trying to visualize some sort of space survivalism. That's what it is. Let's close that off. You ever played Galaxy Trucker? I don't think so. Is that an actual game, or do you mean, what is it? What is that one called? I'm thinking of Elite Dangerous. Which is basically Galaxy Truckin', is it not? Board game made video game. It's fun. No, never even heard of it. I'll have to give that a look-see. Alright, I'm gonna stall more research for the moment, because I want to get all the rest of our stuff built up. We've been neglecting some of our projects here. Now you can see that when Nails is down here pumping oxygen, he's in an unbreathable zone. So he's got to be holding his breath while he's down there. We can mitigate that by pumping some of the oxygen that we've built into the lower areas of the base, or also by freeing up space to let that CO2 settle. So let's go ahead and do that. Dig out another 4 space here. Good start, and we want him to be able to walk across, so we'll put some ladders here. And then eventually we will dig out this spot and let all that water flow together. Let's give that top priority. Put the whole team on it. Unrefrigerated mush bar. Okay, so we need to find a place to store that. We'll just stick it in the ration box here for now. Now, we're getting a notice here, insufficient oxygen generation. So when the oxygen diffuser is running, it produces 500 grams per second of oxygen, whereas each of our colonists, they use up about 100 grams per second of oxygen. So we should be coming out on top. For the time being, at least. So we could be wrong. Let's see water building up here as it flows. going to dig down to about here. And the colonists can work underwater, they just aren't pleased about it. And like with everything else, they gotta be able to get to oxygen fast enough. Where do they keep running off to? They keep trying to do other jobs. We're still producing mush bars. Gonna have to keep an eye on this up here. Our available calories. Want to make sure that stays around the same level so that we're not overusing our resources. It's hard to stay sustainable in this game. That's what I've been finding. You definitely have to keep building out to a certain point. Oh, looks like we've got more skills available. Let's take a look at that. Who's got skill points? All of our others. Okay, since Ellie's going to be our researcher eventually, I think, let's just go ahead and give everybody improved digging, since that's what we're clearing out right now. I haven't spent a lot of time with the skill system, so I'm not 100% sure what's best, but I know what we need now. Oh, and it looks like we've got a new crew member ready to come in. I may hold off on that for the time being. Yeah, like you can see here, soggy feet, extra stress, chilly surroundings, so they can get stuff like hypothermia from working in the water for too long. Which is very good attention to detail, but, you know, just one more thing to manage. Alright, now let's clear out all of this. And we'll turn this into one big unified water source. And we might actually level it out a little more, just so we have nice, even levels. So we can continue to adjust the elevation of our pump, keep drawing on it. Yeah, why don't we dig down to about... well, here, let's say. And we'll dig out everything up to here. Square it off, as it were. And this will also become sort of a CO2 sink, as it were. Let all the heavy gases fall down here to the bottom of the base. This will be a project that takes a minute. Now, Lindsay, you need to get back up there. Yeah, there we go. So in order to help them traverse around underwater a little better, what we can do is build more underwater ladders, and they can sort of walk across that. Makes it easier than trudging along the bottom of the ocean floor. So how can we split this up? Okay, so we'll put another row of ladders right across here. And across there. Scaffolding, as it were. Ooh. Sopping wet, extra stress, holding breath. Yeah, this underwater work is not easy business. Oh, oxygen, chilly surroundings, yeah. Uh-oh, Ellie has got hypothermia. Contracted by extreme internal temperatures. Time to recover, 53 seconds. Alright, so... I'll tell you what. Let's hold off on leveling out the underwater portion for now. Let's put you guys back on some more, some easier work, as it were. No, I don't want to be cold, says Ellie. Yeah, we're gonna give you a break. Warm up on the hamster wheel. Oh, Regal's streaming now, is he? What's he playing tonight? What's he up to today? Ooh, Deep Rock Galactic. Very cool, very cool. That's another game I picked up while it was on sale, just the other day. Haven't had time to play it on the stream yet, but it definitely is cool. Being space mining dwarves, as it were. Fun times. Alright, that's just about it for another day. Everybody back to your beds? We'll build a little travel system on the outside so we can get around. Maybe you could play with Reach sometime. He's loving the game so far. I've only played about 2 missions, I think. I'm super new to it, but yeah, that sounds fun. I was playing the Scout class, the one that zips around on that hook shot. Real fun stuff. Alright, now, what we need... This keeps telling us here, unrefrigerated food. Food items are stored but not refrigerated. Means that we are either going to have to research better food preservation technology. What can we do here? Refrigerator. Stores food in an ideal temperature to prevent spoilage. Also opens up some other cool tech, so why don't we go ahead and do that? Dragon says, haven't taken the dive into Rock and Stone myself. You know what I spent? I spent almost as much time, just absent-mindedly kicking barrels and stuff around that that little hub ship that that they start you off on than I did actually playing the missions. It is a really cool game, I'll give it that. But for whatever reason, it gave me like some sort of weird motion sickness when I started playing it. I don't know if it was just because I hadn't adjusted the field of view or what it was. For some reason, I felt way taller in-game than I felt like a dwarf should be. And it threw me off, threw me for a loop. Kind of a weird a weird situation, weird complaint, but... Oh, what's this? Missing research station. The selected research focus requires a supercomputer to perform. Okay, well, Ellie can operate a supercomputer. How do we unlock supercomputers? Medicine, liquids, gases, exosuits, computers. Here we go. Arcade cabinet. Allows duplicants to play video games on their breaks. Ah. Let's search supercomputer. Nothing? Supercomputer, here we go. Under colony development. Okay, so employment, build a water cooler and a crafting station followed by advanced research. Okay, we'll do that then. Step 1, get a job. Hey, Space Baboon! I saw this game that was on sale. It made me think of you, but I forgot to tell you about it. It's called Space Crew Legendary Edition. Well, I will definitely check that out. How are you doing tonight, Space Buffoon? Thanks for tuning in. Doing much better on tonight's little colony development. We even got Ellie playing with us. Making some mush. Alright, we've almost leveled out these conjoined water sources, but you can see these CO2 pockets are starting to build up. Especially down here. Once we get this cleared out, that oxygen will start to flow. There we go. Now we do have another colonist waiting to join us. But we've still got a lot to accomplish with just the handful of crew that we have so far. What do we still need to do? We need to put in working plumbing. We need to put in working ventilation. We need to create a dedicated power generation area. Dedicated oxygen generation area. Because we've got it all sort of tied up in one spot right now. Space Buffoon says, I'm doing pretty good and it sounds like you aren't hoarse. Not as hoarse as I thought we'd be. I can definitely feel a little difference in how my throat feels, but it's not as bad as I had anticipated after we went so hard last night. And even that's it. I can't wait to do another stream like that. Didn't we all have fun? Wasn't that just a great time? I think so. You went ham. Yep. Doing it for the people. Alright, let's build out, because we've got 16 interior, 2, 4, 6, 8, yeah, on this side, so let's match it on the left-hand side, close it off, and then we'll think about bringing on another crew member at the moment. Got some doors here. So what more do we need? We got 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay. And cap it off. There we go. Little xylophone sound effect. Dig those out. Dig this out. Dig that out. Set priority high. Get that done. Alright. Get a move on, colonists. Was it a space jam? It was many space jams, as a matter of fact. It was non-stop requests right into the AM. Okay, we've got new stations. Crafting station. What does that let us do? Produces items and equipment for duplicant use. And we got a water cooler. Provides a gathering place for duplicants during downtime. We'll put that in the mess hall here, once it's expanded on. Now, what was the path to refrigerators. Because we want someplace to store our food. But we need a supercomputer for that. Okay. So that's why we want to work on advanced research. Oh, okay. Refunded duplicate skill points for reassignment. I was wondering if you could do this. I thought it was just an oversight in the game that I didn't see an option for it. I spent all day singing Major Tom because of you. I hope we did it justice. Alright, we're just about at the end of another day here. This game looks really cool. It is really cool. People keep saying, and I think they're right, the best comparison, like, it seems a lot like if you ever played Fallout Shelter. Although you've got much more control about what goes on in your little habitat, as it were. Alright, so, good news is, we're clearly producing a surplus of calories here. If we just pause here, let me take a look at... You can see that oxygen is not getting up to the upper parts of our base. It's being produced down here. We got a little bit of natural flow in here still, but because we've capped off these areas, oxygen doesn't want to flow down, and it very rarely is flowing up here. So we're going to have to work on ventilating the upper portions of our base. Oh, see you later, Dragon. Thanks for tuning in. So before we even finish up this area here, I think, oh, what's going on here? Requires emptying. Okay. Emptying it will produce polluted dirt. Alright, and we have... Where was it? Where was it? That was it. Compost. Reduce polluted dirt and other compostables down into dirt. Safely deal with biological waste producing fresh dirt. Okay, so that's one way we can deal with it. Where do we want to stick that? Somewhere outside the colony, I'm thinking. Not over top of our water supply, I should think. How about up here for now? Let's clear out a space. Okay, so that task is underway. And this is going to produce some polluted water pretty soon. We're going to have to do something with that, store that somewhere. I'm thinking down here would be a pretty good spot for a ventilation area. We can pump fresh oxygen everywhere in the base. So what are we going to need for that? We're going to need... Oh, I suppose we're going to need a better power station. So why don't we move that stuff down here? Okay, what did we just unlock? Our supercomputer, right. We need a whole lot of metal for that. How much ore have we got right now? Let's keep that always visible, actually. That's a pretty important resource. We have 162 kilograms, we need 400 kilograms, so we're gonna have to keep looking for those shiny deposits like these here that we can get to. Oh, here's a big old vein of it. That'll keep us going for a while. This one over here is a little more accessible. I think we'll send our colonists on a little expedition. What's this here? Is this a vacuum or is this... It is. Okay, so once we open this area up, we'll have gas flow into it, which might actually be a good way to deal with some excess carbon dioxide. That's the sort of consideration we have to make here. Okay, nails. Mixing that compost. Alright. Good job, good job. Now let me look at the... Because it said it produces heat, which is another sort of resource that we're going to have to manage. Right now everything's nice and temperate, but you can see it gets hotter and hotter in certain parts, cooler and cooler in others. We don't want to overheat, and of course we don't want to freeze. They're still digging out this area. I think we're going to put this little project on the back burner for now, you guys. I want you over here digging up some metal ore for me while I consider how best to build out our power station down here. So I think two generators would probably be enough. And then, how many batteries are we going to need? 4 should be enough for now, I think, to run everything we're going to need. Because we're going to need, what? Probably 1 or 2 air pumps, which will ventilate the whole base that we have for now. And then once we get this stuff built down here, we'll remove the stuff we have up here. It'll refund all of the resources out of it, so we won't be losing out on anything. That's a nice feature. So now you can see we have a designated latrine, designated barracks once we get these areas blocked off. If we wanted a designated mess hall, for example, we would need mess tables, which we have here. We would need no industrial machinery, minimum 12 tiles, maximum 64 tiles, plus 3 morale. So we just gotta close this off and this will become a mess hall. It'll give us a morale bonus. So, why don't we do that? Bonuses, bonuses, we don't mind that. Oh, hold on, hold on, hold on. You're gonna lock yourselves out. Tell you what we'll do. We will just build a ladder down to here, and we'll put a door in the way. So now if we look here, yep, now this counts as a mess hall. It'll be cool to see how big you can expand this base. Well, see, when I play 4X or grand strategy games, like, I always think it's fun to try and be as neat and compact as possible. We'll see how big we try to get this one. Alright, let's get our power station online here. We're going to need to wire this up. Ellie's over here digging the ore that we need. Still gotta wire this up though, guys. I think if you get it too big, like eventually, some people who play this game, I think they get it so big that you lose track of the minutia of it all, the charm of it all. You're zoomed way out. You basically just see specks moving around like you're playing Dwarf Fortress or something like that. Alright, so now, here we go. Double power. Fill up those batteries, and let's start wiring up everything here. We'll pass wires from the battery array through the tiles up to the second floor, which will then link to the computer, because we're actually going to remove the rest of it. Okay, so that should deliver power. Yep, okay. Everything's working except our oxygen diffusers, which we're going to move down to here. So let's go ahead and build, I think... Let's start with 2. And over top of that, so here's how the ventilation works. We're going to build a gas pump, which will take in the air that's being produced. And then we're going to have to vent it everywhere else in the base. So I'm thinking, do we want a setup for every floor, or do we want one for the left side, one for the right side of the base? Because we're going to have a number of pipes running through here. Gas pumps, let's see, they draw in gas and run it through pipes. Tell me how much power does it use, though? Here we go. 240 watts. So it can move 500 grams per second of gas, which means that we really probably only need one oxygen diffuser for each of these pumps, because the oxygen diffuser produces 550, or sorry, uses 550 grams per second of algae, produces 500 grams per second of oxygen. Okay, so the pump can move oxygen as fast as one of these diffusers can produce it. But if we want it to fill up all the area of the base, then yeah, maybe we should have 2 running at the same time. Alright, let us see how one of these setups works, and then we'll decide if we need to set up another one or perhaps 2 more. So let's start pumping oxygen up to the 3rd floor from the basement here. We gotta wire up the diffusers and the pump itself. Then we need to build the gas pipes that are going to go from the gas pump up to the 3rd floor. And where do we want to put the vents? Let's decide that first. We'll just pop vents right there on either side. So the pipes will go... I'm trying to think ahead here. How are the secondary and tertiary arrays going to affect this? For the time being, though, we can just go up and over. It'll flow to here. Once it is getting too much, it'll continue to flow through. Because these vents, they get overpressured at 2,000 grams of gas. Okay. It's time for space engineering lessons. Alright, let's prioritize this task, everybody. Alright, there we go, there we go. We've got vents. Oh, everybody's taking their union-mandated break. Now, of course, it's telling us that we've insufficient oxygen generation, of course, because we took this one offline as we were setting this up. And now everybody's going to sleep. So, hopefully, our oxygen levels will drop, but hopefully they won't completely collapse in the middle of the night. You can see they're exhaling CO2 at the same time. We've got like predator vision here. Zero. Okay, rise and shine, cadets. Big stretch. Alright, back to work. Let's get this dealio done. Everything should be hooked up and ready to rock. Yep, here we go. Diffusers are running. They're drawing power from the batteries. Air is flowing up. Once it gets overpressured, it should pass through and flow into this area as well. Yep. Saw a little bit there. Or I thought I did. You can see the oxygen filling up here, swirling around. Yep, there's the little notice that's saying it's overpressured because it's taking too much. And once it gets overpressured, it should pass along excess output to its connecting vent. Yep, there it goes. Okay, now they're sharing the load. That'll start to regulate a little better. Yep, there it goes, more consistent now. Perfect. So now our top floor will stay oxygenated, and the CO2 will stay along the bottom. We will incorporate another tile that lets CO2 pass between floors, so that eventually it'll all gather at the very, very bottom of the base. Oh, what's going on here? These are some real committed space cadets. They're still trying to finish up this earlier project. I guess that's because we didn't give them anything else to do. Nails keeping committed. Alright, we can deconstruct that oxygenator. You can see here, very dense gas at the top floor. Slightly less at the second floor. Varies from room to room. But I actually wonder if we even need... Like, you can see how clogged up the gas vents are getting here. I actually wonder if we even need additional gas pump arrays, or if we can just create additional vents on the second floor. If this is enough to keep us going for now. Since we only have 4 colonists running around, let's give it a shot. We'll install an extra vent right here, another one right here, and additional piping between the two. That'll be their morning project. Prioritize that. For the longest time, the first time I was playing this off stream, when I was figuring out about the priority tool here, I kept setting everything as priority 1 because I thought, oh, of course, priority 1, that's the most important thing to get done. Exact opposite, so of course I was wondering why my colonists weren't ever doing anything the way I wanted them to. Oops, yeah, oops indeed. Okay, so very dense, densifying. Yeah, this will be good. Our gas will stay nice and, or our oxygen will stay nice and dispersed throughout the base. And you know what? I think I may as well go and set this one up at the same time. Now every room will be fully ventilated. Perfect. Clap, clap, clap. Good job, everybody. Alright, you can finish up this job if you're really feeling it. We can dig out a little more iron ore over here. Then eventually I would like to bust open this area and let some of this extra excess water flow down and out into our reservoir here. You can see, because we've been carving away at it, the water level has dropped compared to where it was before, when it was just this little pocket. So now we're going to have to adjust the height of our pump at some point as well. You'd be wondering why your colonists are so lazy. Yeah, that's exactly what I was wondering. It's like, how come you guys don't do anything that I tell you? Is it me? Am I a poor motivator? What do I got to do? Have I got to put you all on the hamster wheel again? Alright, so the last major project for this little base here that I think we should get done, in addition to setting up a supercomputer, I think the other thing we should do is finish up our mess hall, and if we have time for it, put some proper plumbing into our washroom here. So, easiest thing to do, mess hall. Let's... Oh, first of all, let's use that, what was it? Water cooler. Just make things a little cozier for them. And then I would like to create extra storage for us. And I've been meaning to do this for the longest time. Move over a ration box. There we go. Then we can remove this one, maybe put something more important in here, in our main technical room that we got going. So let's designate these to hold all ingredients, all equipment. Same deal, so now we won't have so much stuff laying around the base. We can throw that all in here where it belongs. You know what? I'm certain that we're going to need additional storage stuff, so let me actually build a few more of those. Oh, but everybody's taking their break, and then they're going to be heading to bed. Let me take a look at the germ display again. Oh, look at it. It's crawling with germs up in here. How horrifying. But look how nice and oxygenated everything is now. The oxygen density is very high everywhere, except for right down here at the bottom of our base, where all the water be flowing. Okay, I need you guys to remove this for me. There we go, so I can build some more storage bins. So that we can then build a ration box. I probably should put these storage bins somewhere else, like maybe up in the sleeping quarters or something. But for now, we'll put all our storage stuff here. Nice and almost centralized on the main floor. Okay, we can remove this other one. Alright, that is our mess hall for now. That gives us, what does that give us? +3 morale. Sweet. That's a big one. Alright, batteries seem to be holding. They can fill those up pretty quick, so I'm not sure if we need more batteries at the moment. I'm not noticing a lack of power anywhere. Those tick away. So now let's get working on plumbing then. Very similar concept to ventilation. Go into the plumbing tab here, and what we're going to need to do is install a water pump down somewhere in our reservoir, which is then going to feed all the way up to our top floor and into our various, what will become a sink, what will become an actual lavatory. But then we're going to need a place to store wastewater, is the thing. Oh, what's this? Oh, are there actual buildings that we can discover out in the big wide world? Oh, interesting, interesting. Our field of view has expanded. All right, but where do we want to store wastewater? Technically, we could dig a big hole and just form a cavity, stick it all in there. But if I'm not mistaken, one of the research unlocks that we can get down the line. Where is it? Where is it? It must be under water. Liquids. Here we go. Sanitation, we have that one. Filtration, distillation, improved plumbing. Here we go. Liquid reservoir stores any liquid resource piped into it. And from there, we might be able to connect it to a bottler. Or some other way of storing it. These later game technologies I have not experimented a lot with. Okay, so for now we're going to do the tried and true method, which of course is dig a big hole and dump all your wastewater in there. So we'll build ladders down to about here. Sort of level it off with our water reservoir here, and then we will dig ourselves out a cavity. Prioritize that. That'll be the big job of the day for all of our colonists. Let's get on it, everybody. We're gonna put all our waste under the base. And we'll worry about that later. Like storing old nuclear fuel. Hey, Tetralimnus. Yep, nice. That's the tried and true method. Just bury all your problems and deal with it later. Alright, we're already over halfway through the day though, so this might take us into the next cycle. And we're probably going to have to build some scaffolding here. Okay, everybody's getting the call, scheduled downtime. Everybody take your break, eat your food, head to bed. Bright and early tomorrow morning. How's our oxygen holding? Still good. We've got our little CO2 sink down here, where all of our carbon dioxide is gathering. Everything's still pretty well oxygenated thanks to this gas pump that we installed and routed. Vents going everywhere, good flow. Alright, we've already got vents overpressured in certain areas. Nothing to worry about there. Okay, rise and shine, everybody. Charge up those batteries for the day. Maybe we are going to need more batteries. Because if these are running out during the night, it means we're not getting more oxygen produced. Oh, we've got sandstone dropping down on us. Or sand dropping down on us, so maybe we should just dig out this whole area then. Just keep it nice and even. Which means we're probably going to have to build more scaffolding for them to work on. Yep. Okay, dig, 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 and you can tell they're working in some pretty harsh environment down here. Oxygen hasn't been able to reach down here. We'd either have to pump it in manually, or maybe hope that some of the overpressure from the production room seeps down here, but not likely. Again, because oxygen lighter than CO2, it wants to rise, CO2 wants to fall, so we get these gaseous sinks down here. Alright, but we're okay. All of our cadets made it through. Now to install the waste runoff. Let's see here. Tell you what we'll do. First of all, we will move the scaffolding just so we don't get gross spills and leakage. Okay, you're not thinking this through, though, cadets. How are you going to reach it? There you go. That's using your noodle. I'm not going to have to manually tell him to do each of these, am I? No, because he's here already. There we go. Nope, they're just going to go, yep, right for it. Okay, well. Maybe not the cleverest creatures, these space cadets. So now what you're going to have to do, you're going to have to build up so that you can build down. See how you didn't think these things through? And now we're a whole day later and we still didn't get our our liquid pumps installed. Alright, let's start roughing those out then at least. So let's take a look at sinks. Oh, wait. Did we not unlock sinks? Where are you? Where are you? Sanitation. There we go. Okay. That's right. We need lavatory and we need sink. Alright, we'll let that ride. We'll let Ellie work on that. She's our #1 scientist here. Okay, now we can see we've got breathable gas, breathable air in most of our runoff area. It's all settled to the bottom now, the CO2. Where do you keep running to? Charging up batteries. A lot of busy work. This is why once you get more, how do you say, specialized projects going on, eventually you do want to have bigger size crews, I think. Okay, you should be able to reach up here now. Deconstruct that one. Really? Alright, apparently we can't reach it, so we have to do this. So we can reach that one, so we can deconstruct, so we can work all the way down, so we can finally start filling this space up with gook. There you go. Now you're getting it. Okay. Now take this one out. Take all of this out. Halfway through the day. Come on, I like to get this done. Let's go, Space Cadets. There you go. These ones just need to be set to general, like usual. Okay, we have a nice big cavity here that we can fill up with wastewater. And is our research done? It is, so we can install sinks. And sinks are going to replace our wash basins here. Okay, so we need an input and an output. The output leads to our runoff, which is going to be down here. Which we are going to put right, let's say, I guess I should have kept some scaffolding down here, because we're going to need to run all the way across here. A little platform. And this will be our liquid vent right here. And then that will travel from here, down here. Should be able to reach that from the scaffolding we put up. Our little ladder construction. Okay. Hey, what about this? Get the vent. Come on. Where you going? Where you running to? You gotta run around and pick up resources before they can construct it. This is why we need to better manage our storage bins and what have you, so they can grab what they need. Alright, I think that's going to be another day, though. In the meantime, let's get our plumbing roughed out. So pipes have to travel from here all the way up through here. Pretty sure to about here, and then we will sort out the specifics once we get the sink actually in place. Likewise, we need to install a water pump down here to draw water up to the base. So for that, we are going to need a liquid pump. We can install it down here. Yeah, that should be fine for now. Lavatories as well, same idea. Need to take water from down below and pipe it up to the top. Speaking of pipes, okay, that's all installed. Perfect. So let's start working on, we'll just go straight up. Then we come through like this. Then up to here, and I'll sort out exactly what needs to be done with that once I see it in action. Now we are also going to have to supply power to our pump. So we'll just wrap that up the pipe. And let's go. Let's see it done. We've got a bottle of polluted water here. We've got a bottle of regular water here. Dump onto the floor or sweep it up. I don't think we have anywhere to store these, do we? Pretty sure we don't. Okay, looks like everything is installed. Wire-wise, yep. Uh-oh, that's not just pumping water into the tiles, is it? I hope not. Okay, here's what we want to do. We want to deconstruct our wash basin here, and we want to construct a... Whoop. We want to construct a proper sink. Alright, tear that down for me. Perfect. Alright, now, where are we? Medicine sink. Put it right at the door there. Okay, I was thinking it would have to be there, but yeah, right here at the door. And then the piping will go like this. So this is the output pipe. It goes here. Input pipe, I guess we'll wrap it around like so. Because we don't want them crossing one another. Technically we can bridge it, but the way we have it set up here, it's not going to look fancy. Yoink, yoink, there we go. Let's see it in action, everybody. Let's get this done before the day is over. We can do it, come on. Here we go, almost there. Now just the sink, yeah? Here we go. Perfect, okay. Now, if we switch to plumbing view, can we see, yep, we can see water coming through the pipe here. That's gonna fill up the sink. All right. Hits its max pressure. You can see water filling up the tank there. So now, let's just set the proper direction on this for usage. And as soon as somebody uses it, we'll see. Wash your hands, okay. Now let's follow. There goes our wastewater. And here it comes. Sploosh. Starts a little puddle down here. Now this might seem like it's gonna fill up real fast or something, just after one hand washing, but that's not the case. You can see when we hover over the water, one little square like this filling up almost 1,000 kilograms. One little square like this, technically only 1,500 grams of polluted water, so that'll take a long time to actually start filling up. Which benefits us, that means we can keep our hands clean. The only thing that it might draw on too much is power, just to pump all this water up to the tippity top of the base. But that, I mean that right there, that is oxygen not required. We got a lot done today. I don't know about you, Space Cadets, but I think we did a pretty good job. I'm gonna make sure to save that. Quick save. Yep, there we go. Perfect. We got a few good things done for the day. We got our oxygen generators set up. We got our plumbing all sorted out. Tetralemnus, I saw an ad on YouTube about oxygen not included, and I blame you. It's weird how your browser and stuff, how it knows what you're into, right? It'll search the pages that you're on for little keywords like that. What a terrifying age we live in. It was productive. We got our little power generation station, starting to upgrade our washrooms. So I think next time we return to the game, we'll be able to start bringing on more cadets, start bringing on more colonists, put them to work, start really expanding now that everything's almost self-sufficient. There's still ways that we could improve our living conditions right now, but not bad for a first start, that's for sure. But it's going to be a little while before we come back to it, I think. Probably might not even get another oxygen not included stream in next week. We'll see what comes up, but I think I might have burnt myself out a little playing it off stream so much just because I got so addicted to it. Seemed to be doing better this time around than last time. Oh yeah, well if you were here last time, you would have seen we spent like what, half hour, close to an hour just figuring out how to transfer water by hand, how to sweep up stuff, how to keep the base clean, because we were making a mess all over the place. And that was our very first time playing. I had not tried it out off stream beforehand. That was our very first experience, and it was rough. It was pretty rough. But we're learning things, you know? Turn those losses into lessons, as they say. Now tomorrow we're going to have another special type of stream. We're going to be trying something new. We're going to be doing an art stream, but we're going to be streaming one of my favorite guilty pleasure shows at the same time. There's a brand new season of Jersey Shore Family Vacation. Some of you know that I'm a diehard fan of that series from way back in the day. So I'm going to be watching that while I make some new assets for the channel. If you think that sounds like a good time, then be sure to tune in. But as for tonight, everybody, that's going to be it for our show. Yeah, that's right, we're going to have to beat the beat up. It's going to be t-shirt time. Cabs are here, all of that. But that's where we're going to call it quits for tonight, everybody. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. Those of you who were here with us in chat, and those of you watching after the fact, wherever and whenever you are, thanks for helping out the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for stopping by and enjoying the show with us. So we'll be back tomorrow. We're going to get started a little bit early. We're going to be here at 7 p.m. Eastern, just so we got a little extra time to work with before our show starts. 7 p.m. Eastern right here at Harbor Station, everybody. We'll catch you on the other side. Hey, Manu. See you dropping in a little late here. Nice to know you were sneaking around in the chat. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Until then, good luck, Godspeed. This is Vector Spaceman signing off.